I have a great relationship with my son-in-law. When my late husband Mason was still alive, he taught him how to do various chores around the house, such as cutting grass and chopping wood. Even when Mason was very sick and couldn't do much, Michael, my son-in-law, would come and lend a hand. Now that I am 51 years old, I don't feel old at all. Because of my husband's illness, I had to go without a partner in bed for a long time, so now I am rediscovering myself. My daughter is now 31, and it's amazing to see how she has grown. Thankfully, she has found a great husband who is always there for her. They live in the city, but recently came to visit me. My daughter had to go back to work in a few days, but Michael offered to stay with me for another week and help me with anything I needed. I gladly accepted his offer, as it would make my days less lonely, and I could use the extra help. I couldn't help but smile and wink at him, expressing my sympathy. I truly adore my son-in-law. We used to swim in the pool together, and I remember him looking at me with admiration. Now when I see him, I can't help but think about how handsome he is. And when Anna mentioned that Michael could stay with me, I was relieved and started imagining all the things we could do together. It had been so long since I'd been with a man and longed for love that I could imagine anything. And here was this handsome young man spending an entire week with me. It was like a dream come true. All that was left was to plan it perfectly. The first night we were under the same roof, I couldn't sleep a wink. The next morning I woke up feeling tired and empty. "Why don't we go to the river?" I suggested to Michael. "Sure, mother-in-law," he replied. We had spent most of the day out of the house, and as we sat on the riverbank, I noticed Michael furtively glancing at me. There was a glint in his eyes, and I sensed that he wanted more. I realized that our trip to the river had been worth it, and I decided to take action. That night, I prepared a bottle of wine and made some sandwiches. My son-in-law asked if there was anything he could do to help. I simply asked him to sit down and wait for a while. Everything was ready, and sitting down at the table, I said, "Poor son-in-law. Let's get to know each other better, because frankly, it feels like we're not even related." Michael gladly offered to help me, and let me tell you, we had such a great time together that even the night seemed too short. The next day started the same as all the others, as if nothing had happened. And in the evening, my brother-in-law himself suggested, "Shall we continue yesterday's fun?" "Sure," I replied, and we went to the lawn under the tree to relax. Before that, my son-in-law and I had agreed that whenever he had free time, he would come over and help me because it can be quite boring and difficult without help. I will look forward to seeing him, ready to make delicious sandwiches and open a bottle of homemade wine and maybe even take another boat ride on the river. I am truly blessed to have such a wonderful relationship with my son-in-law, and I hope you all can experience the same with your own son-in-law.